Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to film, I don't know what, but I have some new palettes that I may try. This one is by Milk Cosmetics and I shared it on my Instagram and my blog. It's all kind of warm shades, but then I did a warm look last week. I am thinking I may do something quite full coverage because it's been a while since I've done anything like that on the channel. Everything that I've done recently has been really wearable, and because it's been summer and it's been hot, I've been wanting to do things that are easy to achieve. So maybe I'll do something a little bit unlike me. I think I'm going to use some MAC foundation that I've not used in forever. I use them all the time on my clients but never use them on myself, so I thought I will try and change it up on the channel and try and use things I don't always use. So I'm going to use the MAC Studio Fix Fluid. So to start with, I'm going to apply some Porefessional by Benefit. So normally people tend to have a little bit of skin texture here, here, and a little bit on this part of the forehead. So you only want a very small amount onto a clean, moisturised base. If you're oily, allow your moisturiser to really sink in, and if it's still got quite a bit of residue on your skin, just tap it off with a piece of tissue first. Okay, so I've got some colour to my skin at the minute. We've had summer. I've not been away yet, so I expect I will get a little bit browner when I go to Morocco. I'm not quite NC30. I tend to be a little bit more neutral in MAC shades, so I like to mix an NC and an NW to create a bit more of a neutral finish. So we've got NW20 and NC30, so I'm going to mix those together. Before I apply my foundation, down my neck I'm going to apply some bronzer. This one is just by Too Faced. It's a matte bronzer, and I don't like to take my foundation all the way down my neck. I like to take it from my jaw onto my neck. I find applying a little bit of bronzer just matches it to my chest, and it means I don't have to take my foundation all the way down my neck. I love using a big brush for it because it just makes it so quick and easy. I'm going to use the NYX Professional 03 brush to apply this. So I've put the majority of NC30 on my hand and mixed in a little bit of the NW20. If you've never used this foundation, it's really good if you've got an oily skin. And as I said, I use it on a lot of my clients. It says it's a medium coverage. It's easily built up to a full coverage. It's a matte finish. It is suitable for all skin types, but if you're particularly oily, it's a good one. It's got an SPF of 15 in it. Definitely apply your sun protection beforehand because that's just not enough to protect your skin. So I'm going in with a second layer. I'm really buffing it into the skin with a brush. Also, don't forget to work it into your hairline. My face is definitely paler than the rest of my body, and it will be very obvious that this foundation doesn't match if you can see my scalp. If your hair's up and you've got little lines in between it, you can just put a tiny bit of bronzer into your hair. So now I'm using what's left on the brush to pull that down over the jawline and onto the neck to meet the bronzer that we've already applied. So it's quite a good match, but I look very flat and it looks more fake because we don't have any dimension to the skin. It's all one colour. So we're going to have to go in with something else to lift the skin and make the skin look more three-dimensional. So I'm just going to go in with a sponge and press that into the skin. We want full coverage, but we also want it to look natural. I'm going to do my brows off camera because I'm actually going to be using the Benefit Brow Contour Probe. I'm going to film this as a tutorial. So if you haven't seen it already, go check out last week's tutorial, which I'm filming now, but will be up before this makeup look. So moving on to the eyes, I'm going to use a MAC paint pot in the shade Layin Low. These paint pots can be worn alone or you can use them as a base. They're kind of like a full coverage shadow. They come in loads of different shades and different finishes. Layin Low is a matte finish and it's a creamy beige shade, and I'm using a sponge to put this on, but you can use your fingers or a brush. Although these sit in place, I am going to use a translucent powder over the top. This one is Mercier Secret Brightening Powder for under eyes. I'm using this to create a silk finish to the skin so that the eyeshadows that I use are going to blend perfectly over the top. I decided to go with the Milk Cosmetics 27 palette, and I'm going to use Nip Slip as the first colour, and this is a warm peach shade and it is a matte finish. I'm using this as our transition shade, so this is the colour that we're taking into the socket. We're going to work it from the outside towards the inside, and this is the colour that we're going to take up the highest towards the eyebrow bone. So when you're working with a transition shade, it should always be the lightest colour you're going to be using. As we're going to be covering the most surface with this colour, I'm using a fluffy brush to apply this to cover more of the surface. The next colour we're going in with is called Downtown, and this is a mid-tone warm brown. We've already got the transition shade on, so now we want to be a bit more precise where we apply this colour. So I'm using an E10 brush, which is a small crease brush, to work this exactly where I want it. Which for me is directly into the crease, so where the eye naturally creases, where that eye socket is. And we're going to do this in very light washes of colour. And then we're going to fade that colour up into our transition shade. And on the outer corner I'm using what's left on the bristles to pull that out into a bit of a V shape. Then I'm going in with a clean, fluffy blending brush to make sure we work that over both the colours that we've applied on the lid so that they are nice and seamless. Next I'm going in with this Nude Sticks pencil in the shade Nudity, which is kind of like a coppery bronze. And I'm taking this over the mobile lid and then I'm just going to blend that in with my finger. And this is going to be another base for our next eyeshadow. And the one I'm using is called Vegas Past and it's a bold bronze foiled eyeshadow. Now because it is foiled, it is slightly crumbly and it's the perfect consistency, but it does need something to stick to if you want it to stay in place, hence why we've put the Nude Sticks on as a base. I'm now going in with this black kohl pencil by Zoeva called Black to Earth. This is one of my favourites because it's really soft and it's really inky black. This is going along the waterline and I'm also going to use it to tightline the eye. And I think what's even more appealing about this pencil, other than the fact that it's fantastic, is that it's only £7. Underneath the eye, I'm going to smoke it out, like really smoke it out, using this black pencil by Nude Sticks in the shade Night. And this is a really jet black, but it has a glossy finish, which I think is so beautiful. Before it sets in place, I'm going to use a mini detailer brush to smoke it out, using what's left on the brush to pull that up at the outer edge, creating a wing. And then we're going to work that on the top lid on the very outer edge. And we want to pull that down towards the lash line, working it close to the root, so we got a bit of a V shape going on. And then you just want to smoke that out with your brush, and again on the outer edge pulling it out in a wing shape. Don't worry about being too precise at this stage because we're going to be going over this with eyeshadow. For now we're just creating the basis of our look, so we're creating a bit of a shape which will serve as a guide for where we're going to apply our eyeshadow next. Going back to the palette, we're going to take the darkest shade, which is called Moonchild. It's another matte finish and it's a maroon brown. Going back to our mini detailer brush, I'm applying this directly over the black wing and also creating a bit more of a definitive V shape. The actual V itself is going to be in line with the highest part of our crease, so it's perpendicular to the crease. This is going to create a bit more of a feline appearance to the eyes. Then we're going in with a small crease brush just to soften the edges and make sure, although it's more defined, that it still doesn't look too harsh. Applying your eyeshadow in this perpendicular shape is great if you have hooded eyes. It's going to elongate the shape of your eye as opposed to closing it up. Next I'm going in with the blackest of black eyeshadows I've ever used, the Natasha Denona Blackest Black. This is a little bit expensive, but oh my god, it's incredible. I'm going back in with my mini detailer brush and tracing over the black wing that we created with the Nude Sticks pencil. Using the very tip of the brush, I'm going to feather that out to create a bit more of a wing. Then I'm going back in with my E10 small crease brush and I'm working that from the outside inwards, just pulling that colour through the crease. Then I'm taking that maroon brown underneath the lower lashes, going over the black that we've already applied, but smoking it downwards. This will make it start to look a bit messy, but don't worry, we're going to tidy everything up with our concealer. I decided I wanted something to really pop on the eyes, so using my finger I'm going to press some peached pigment over the top of that foiled eyeshadow, and this is fine because layering your products means they're going to last longer, but this does also mean that you can skip the step of applying Vegas Past and go straight to the peached pigment. To line my top lash line, I'm using this black eyeliner by YSL, and as you can see it's super pointy so we can get a really nice crisp sharp line, and I'm using this for the very inner corner of the eyes, creating a nice point and pulling that out towards the outer edge, making it slightly thicker so that we meet the black eyeshadow, which we're then going to fade in with a little bit more of the black eyeshadow. Along the brow bone I'm using this new Rosé Glow colour by Becca and Glam Glow. And I'm using another mini detailer brush to apply this to the eyebrow bone, which is going to make it pop and beautiful when it catches the light. Off camera I'm applying some mascara and these false eyelashes that are called Ladies Who Lunch by Backstage. Okay, so I've done my eyes. I will come back and just tweak underneath once we get to the concealer. So I'm going to move on. I am going to do a bit of a full-on face look. So I'm going to use the iconic London Foundation Pigment Stick in 4.1. And I'm going to draw this around the contours of the face. This is a bit more of an InstaGLAM look. I don't usually do looks like this because I don't think it's necessary to wear so much makeup, but I just felt like doing something completely different to what I've been doing recently. So I'm going to blend that in with a synthetic brush. This one is by Real Techniques. I will link everything I've used in the description bar below anyway. So because we've not set the foundation, even though it is kind of a mattifying one, it makes it easier to be able to blend this straight into it. What I like about these foundations is that they're really creamy, so they blend beautifully. But if you try and do this with a natural hairbrush, you'll find that the bristles just tend to clump together and it will just make your life harder when it comes to blending. Now this will change the majority of your face colour, but we'll be going in with a lighter concealer which will bring more light back to the skin. Really blend this in around the hairline. Now you know I'm not really for this kind of trend wearing full on loads of makeup. I kind of try and cater for everybody because there are people on my channel that love super glam looks, so I kind of want to be able to do a bit of everything for everybody, even if it's not what I would ordinarily go for. And I think some of you that aren't into it will also find it just fascinating to watch. So again, blend this right into your hairline. Next I'm going in with a full coverage concealer. This is the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. Then I'm going to wet that in with a beauty blender. So we're just going to bounce that over the top to press it in place. And if you go up at this angle, it's going to lift your eyes. I'm then taking the Born This Way setting powder. I'm going to press this into the skin. It's going to set the foundation, but it's also going to bake that area. I hate that so much. This is what we used to do for drag makeup when we was in college. I mean, by the way, there's a guy outside doing the lawn. Why not? I'm only filming. Wouldn't believe how many people ask me for this type of makeup all the time, and then when I pay £20 for it. Infuriates me. So right now we should look like we are going in the oven. You should leave it as long as you can if you really want that baked look. I've left it for 5. So now we're going to dust off the excess powder. And this is going to give you that kind of flawless look in photos and from a distance. But up close you are going to see you wearing layers of makeup. And as you can see, by applying the powder, apart from it making your hairline look nice and chalky, you can see that the contour and everything is a lot softer. So as the powder takes away a little bit of definition, I'm going back in with my chocolate Soleil and just redefining the contours of the face. It's definitely more makeup than you need, but people love it. I like to define this C shape here. So like a 3 there and there, there and there. For blush, I'm going to use my Illamasqua Lover Blush. I love this blusher. So I'm going to put this kind of on the back half of the apple of the cheek and pull it upwards. This is a matte finish. As you know, I love a matte finish blush. I love this brush as well. It's by Makeup Forever and it's the number 152. It's so soft. So apply it in small washes and just really buff it into the skin before you apply another layer. Otherwise you're just adding more and more texture to the skin. Next I'm going in with the Natasha Denona Super Glow. This comes in 3 shades. This one is 02 Light Medium. So we're going to apply this just on the tip of the nose for that Tin Man look. Also down the centre. I'm trying to say it without laughing. I don't really want to take the mic, but I mean, come on, the Instagram looks are becoming ridiculous. Cupid's bow. Can you imagine applying this every day? Lips. I'm going to line them with MAC's Stone Lip Liner. Also, don't you think that everybody looks the same on Instagram now? Everybody's got lip fillers, and I feel like we're losing our individuality. I used to get told I had full lips. They don't look full compared to people's lips anymore, and people's lips are getting ridiculous. I'm going to use MAC's Peach Stock lipstick to fill my lips in. Nice nude. Go over the lip line because you will look ridiculous if you leave it like this. The idea is that it's slightly darker under your lipstick, just gives you definition. If you put a nude straight on your lips, it's just gonna like blur into your face. I'm gonna put on this Too Faced Sweet Peach Cream Peach Lip Gloss, Peach Sickle like popsicle. It's a mouthful, isn't it? Just to add a subtle nude peachy tone. I'm going to take a bit more of my highlighter, just add it to the high points of my décolletage. Also add it to the tops of your shoulders as well. Give you some extra glow, because if you haven't already got enough. I'm now going to set with the Laura Geller Spackle Mist. I've not used this before. This one's got coconut water in it, and this is a prime, set and refresh spray. Let's give it a shake and see what it's like. Smells nice. Oh. Smells a bit like coconut and washing up liquid. No, I don't think I like that one. Sorry. No. Well, that's a shame. It smelled really nice to begin with. So that completes my super glam makeup look. Super glam for me anyway, because I would never normally put this much makeup on. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below. If you like it, would you wear it? Is it too much for you? It's definitely too much for me, but it's definitely fun to play with, and that's what makeup's about. It's about having fun and not taking it too seriously. But so many people on Instagram take it so seriously. As always, I will link all the products used in the description bar below for you, with links to buy whether you're in the UK, EU or US and Canada. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and you can follow me outside of YouTube on my social handles. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.